For me, it was an easy choice. I was already CFO at the company. I loved the company I was working for. I liked the people I was working for. I had a great relationship with my boss. I wanted to stay there and work. I wanted to stay at the same company. So for me, it was just a question of where. And given where I was, given where you are in your career, getting an average degree just doesn't cut it. So you want to go for the best. And certainly if you're a Philadelphian or you're in this area, it's, the beacon is right there. But I would say anywhere you are in the world, the beacon is still as strong. You just need to find it. So it's the best program. It's the best program in the world for executive MBAs. It happened to be right in my backyard, so it fit.
Yeah, I would agree 100%. I was with a great company, wanted to stay there. There was actually, within Campbell Soup, there was a network of alum from WMBA. Probably 7 or 8 of us over the last 20 years have gone through the program. So we had a bit of a tradition, and those folks were in positions that I certainly looked at as positions I wanted to be in. And now that I moved onto another company, even now on my leadership team for the division I work in, there's 20 of us on the team or so. 3 of us are WMBA, actually. So the network is extremely strong, and it's not hard to look. You don't have to look very far to find friendly faces out of this program.
I think for me, it sort of fit the bill for everything I was looking for, both in terms of Wharton itself and in terms of executive versus a full-time MBA program. One, obviously, it's its reputation, so that obviously speaks for itself. Second is its academics and the rigor around the academics and what I was expecting and hoping to learn. And the third, quite frankly, was around the structure itself. I really liked the idea of being able to continue to work and to be able to apply the knowledge from work into an academic setting. And so being able to do that and come to school full-time was important to me. I also liked the fact, and I looked at other programs that were more online programs, and there's something to be said for the face time that you get here. And there's, you coming on a Friday and staying over Friday night and being here all day Saturday, forming the bonds with those, with your peers is critical. So I like the structure of having a little bit of the best of both worlds there. Geography, obviously important. And last but not least, was financially, I couldn't afford to go to the full-time program. I needed my job to help support my education here.
I had at least one personal reason for choosing the executive program, which was that at the time I was applying and starting the program, I had an infant daughter at home. My wife didn't work. She was home with our child. And so from a purely personal standpoint, it wasn't practical for me to stop working and support a family and a house. That was by far not the only reason I chose the executive program. I'll mention one thing in particular that you've already heard about, and it's the fact that this is, I think the term is an undiluted MBA experience. And as soon as I remember sitting in this room, listening to the talk, and learning that it was the same number of classroom hours and that everybody in the program would take the GMAT. And I'd been looking at other programs, many of which would have allowed me to not take a GMAT or would have had a shorter track, fewer hours, different professors, diluted content, less rigorous requirements. And my feeling was that I wanted all of those things. I wanted all of the learning. I wanted all of the challenges. And the third thing I'll mention is that I was in my early 30s when I started, or mid 30s when I started the program. And the notion of sitting next to a 24-year-old who was certainly bright, but less experienced, and talking about case studies where the person didn't have any perspective, hadn't been through it, was not that appealing to me. I wanted to sit next to a CFO, a CEO, a person who was running marketing at a company, a person who had started their own business. And I had that in abundance. And that was, we'll talk a lot about the academics and the rigorous courses and so forth, but you learn so much from your classmates. And it was such a terrific choice in terms of what I learned from my peers and the network that I now have.
So I amen to everything that's already been said. For me, it was 2 things. Number one, I think I was trying to wipe away the label of scientist, and there's no better way to do that than to go to the best business school there is. And so that was number one. Number 2 was the network, and it's not only while you're in school, but to be frank, these are the people that your colleagues, as was mentioned, that you actually could form ventures with come post-graduation. And to be able to do that, especially somebody with me who's been so insulated in the scientific and academic world, to be able to build that network out into private equity and venture capital has been a very valuable experience.